Hi guys, I wanted to show you how to edit a notebook on a computer, as well as go over the scientific method practice problems from Monday's class, just to kind of give you a little bit of help. So this is our PDF editor. It is, I think PDF Escape is what you look up, but it's also on our announcements in each of our courses. You're going to go and you're going to pick the document that you want to edit. In this case, it is our notebook. Click open. It'll prepare it for you. And then if you give it a second, it comes up. And you're actually able to edit all of the pages of the notebooks. So if you were online and you didn't want to print off your pages, this is how you would do it. Let's go to our scientific method practice problems. They're right here. So for this one, I want you to identify the independent variable and the dependent variable and the controlled variable, or the control, of each of these experiments from the research question. So this is a research question. You're going to use these to identify independent and dependent and controls. Remember, if you recall from our notes, independent variables are things the scientist changes and our dependent variables are things usually that we measure, and our control variables are things we want to stay the same. Okay, so if you're following along, you can write this in your notebook. That'll help you a lot. So for this one, how much water flows through a faucet at different openings? So what is our independent variable? What are the things that the scientist is changing? In this case, it is our faucet. So the scientist is changing the faucet openings, or the faucet itself. What we're measuring is how much water flows through, or amount of water. Our controlled variables are some things that we want to stay the same. That to move really bad, but it won't. Okay, so our controlled variables are things in the experiment we want to stay the same. So in this case, what are some things that we want to stay the same to make sure that what is affecting the amount of water flowing through the faucet is the faucet opening itself and not something else? Some examples we've come up in class are the water pressure. So you want to make sure the water pressure is the same. We've thought about possibly temperature. Spell that wrong. Temperature playing a small role in the amount of water that's flowing through. You can think about how far you turn the handle, which is water pressure again. So for each of these controls, there are so many controls that you need to think about in an experiment, or your constants. But I would like you to just list 2. One of the easiest examples to start with is, does fertilizer make a plant grow bigger? So if I'm setting up an experiment to see if my plant grows more if I use fertilizer or not, what is the thing that the scientist is changing? The scientist is changing the presence of fertilizer. The thing that we're measuring is plant growth. And then the things that we want to control are other things that might make the plant grow that is not the fertilizer. So think water. We want to make sure we're watering everything the same. If we give one more water than the other, it might grow more. But its growth was not the fertilizer, right? It could have been the water if we're not watering them the same. We want the temperature to be the same. We want sunlight to be the same. We want type of water to be the same. We might want type of plant we use to be the same. If I have a really quick growing plant in one and a very slow growing plant in the other, which one do you think is going to grow more, right? It would be the quick growing plant, but it's not because of the fertilizer, it's because the plants are different species. So like I said, you just need 2 for those. I hope this helps. Number 5 and 6 are pretty difficult. So 5 is actually the age. Who listens to music the most? Teenagers or their parents? The thing that the scientist is changing is age. Teen versus parent. Parent. The thing that we are testing is amount of music listened to. And some things that we might want to keep the same are the type of music, right? If someone really likes country music, they're going to listen to a lot of it. But if we're only testing country music and some, we want to keep the music the same, right? The type of music, country music versus pop versus hip hop versus whatever kind of other music is out there. We want to keep the time period the same. So are you measuring it, how much music they listen to in over an hour, a day, a week? And then time we're testing. So if we're testing for only an hour, are we testing at an hour where adults would not be up? Is it 3 a.m.? Is that maybe why? Because adults are sleeping while teenagers are awake? Who knows? So those are some things we want to keep consistent. Okay? The classroom one. What are we changing? What is the scientist changing if my research question is a classroom noisier when the teacher leaves the room? So what is the scientist changing? The presence of teacher. What are we measuring? Volume of room. Things that we'd want to keep the same is the class, right? Or do we have just a noisier class? And that's maybe why they're talking. Want to keep the time the same, right? Some of you are more talkative in the morning than you are at night, vice versa. And there are many, many more. So those were your challenge questions. I hope this helped going through it. Do the other ones on your own. And do not forget to also do this page as well. So it's the same kind of thing except it's one giant problem, and I'm asking you to identify different parts of the experiment. When you're done, take a screenshot, send it in so I know that you're doing okay. Thanks guys, have a great day.